Hello everyone, this is Scott from Pyvot. I want to say hello and also share this technical note from Chromanik Technologies, and more specifically it's in relation to the Sunshell HILIC-Amide column. This report was collaborated between Chromanik Technologies and Dr. Tohru Ikegami from the Kyoto Institute of Technology. And this report describes or highlights the comparison of hydrophilicity, selectivity, and position isomers. And as you can see here, 15 different kinds of HILIC columns. We're going to jump right in and discuss this, but if you have any questions or feedback, we look forward to hearing from you. So again, looking at this, and these are the hydrophilic interaction chromatography columns, we're going to start with comparison of hydrophilicity. And we're going to look at the retention factor of uridine, adenosine, and vidarabine. And prior to moving forward, I also want to highlight the condition, as this will be used in other parts of this technical note. So the mobile phase is acetylnitrile with ammonium acetate buffer. That's 20 millimolars with a pH of 4.76. It's 90% to 10% volume per volume, again, involving this mobile phase. The linear velocity is 1 millimeter a second. The UV detection wavelength is 254 nanometers, and the column oven temperature is 30 degrees Celsius. Now, going into this, we're going to focus on 3 columns here. And on the bottom, the Sunshell HILIC-Amide column is one of the 3 more of the most hydrophilic columns in this comparison. It also highlights, again, the retention factor, and the Sunshell column holds up quite well, also with the polyhydroxyethyl column and the TSK gel amide 80 column as well. So in essence, the higher the hydrophilicity, the longer the retention time. So high hydrophilicity is better for a HILIC column. Going to move down a bit here as well. We'll look at comparison of selectivity regarding presence of OH and CH2. So that's hydroxide and methylene. And we're going to look at this in relation to uridine, and then 2-deoxyuridine and 5-methyluridine. And some information that we found, or some observations, include that selectivity is much more dependent upon a stationary phase. So in the case of the Zwitter ion phase, like the Zinc HILIC columns, as well as the nucleodur columns at the top, they showed good selectivity with the presence of OH and CH2, while the bare silica phase columns did not show as good of selectivity. In the case of the Sunshell HILIC-Amide column, it held up quite well in both selectivity and separation factor, as you can see in the pink here. Now, looking at comparison of regioisomer selectivity of these columns, and we're going to look at this in relation to separation condition and selectivity in relation to adenosine and vidarabine, as you can see to the right. And so looking at the Zwitter ion phase columns, they showed good selectivity. However, the separation factor was not as high as some of the other columns. Now, in the case of the Sunshell HILIC-Amide column, you can see that the selectivity holds up pretty well, but the separation factor was the highest of all the columns involved. I'm going to scroll down a bit here as well. We just wanted to highlight some of the other applications involving or using the Sunshell HILIC-Amide column. And over here we have a few, including the separation of uridine and analog ofuridine, separation of artificial sweeteners, and even separation for glycosides. And there's more application data on our site and in a separate presentation as well. But in essence, in conclusion, we want to highlight that the Sunshell HILIC-Amide column showed the highest hydrophilicity of the phases bonded with a silane reagent. And additionally, we want to highlight that the Sunshell columns are core shell based, which allows for higher efficiency. Additionally, since this technical note was published, we also introduced the Sunshell HILIC bare silica column as well. So we encourage you to look at the other presentation and application notes on our website. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, we look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you.